Triple H goes right into it. They call it a Pearl Harbor, but it's probably not the best way to phrase that anymore. I don't know who was wearing pants when and when it was decided that pants were okay to wear in the ring, but I'm all for it. It looks different. I think it's significant to show his motives, because usually he would treat a title like a title or a championship, and he didn't. He tossed it to the side. It's not important. So you have the want and the need, and his want just beat the piss out of Jeff Hardy. Pretty simple, right? But he forgets that he is a champion. And as a result, I think we all know what kind of happens. This is something that I made up, what is essentially a regular, typical pro wrestling match. If you really want to break it down simply, who are they and how do you tell this story? So, shine, heat, comeback, beginning, middle, end, essentially. But now we're going to see the shine, right? And you're familiar with that, so it would just be the beginning of the match where the baby face shines up the heel because he's letting his emotions take control. So that's one of the things that we're going to be seeing here. And see how Jeff Hardy sells? He sells like he's getting beaten up by a star. Oh, build a story around a punch, and then you'll have all the guys in the main event throwing 7 punches in the beginning just because they wanted to get into a headlock. But Triple H kind of can get away with it. He's over. Doesn't matter. Yeah, see, she got beat up. She's holding her neck. Pretty straightforward. And then he comes in, duck under, and then here's the tilt-a-whirl head scissors. So this is the shine, essentially. It's going to be 2 drop kicks here. So it was the tilt-a-whirl into the 2 drop kicks. So it's usually 3 moves. That's what most people do, but here it is, watch. So he's going to get a little stop here. This is setting up for Triple H's finish. And pause it. So setting up for someone's finish is a great way to tell a story, and it emphasizes that people know this move and they want to see it. So sometimes you'll see people go for a super kick and then someone will like back up, or they'll like, and then they'll do this thing. It's like, this close, I almost got you. But it is fun. In this context, it works perfectly because it set up Jeff Hardy to finish his shine with a signature move. I really don't like this move, but it's Jeff Hardy's move, so you have to love it. Jeff Hardy's a tricky guy like that. And I was actually curious if he had already started doing the drop kick after that, or if he had just always done that. So in this context, it seems like he's always done the drop kick afterwards. I really hate the 10 counting punches, but they're not going to the crowd. That's not quite what this is. This isn't that pro wrestling. This is more sports entertainment. So I think I would have called that a cutoff. It was super emphatic, and here's a hard buck. Nope. Okay, so Whisper in the Wind, still in the shine. So I can be wrong. No worries. When you're watching the match for the first time, you're kind of just having fun. Like, I haven't watched this match yet, and I was gonna watch it before and get everything written down, but I want to do this live and in person with you, so that way you can kind of get the real feeling. And then this is the cutoff right here. A little bit of a cutoff at least. Oh, I remember what the cutoff is now. You're gonna like this one because they botch it. So there is a botch in this match, and they do the worst thing you could ever do when you botch, and they go right back to it. And I think that was a Triple H call, and that's fine. They fixed it for TV. Forgot about it. If you didn't watch pro wrestling like we do, then you wouldn't even have noticed it. So here it is. Look, Triple H caught him and safely did it and put him down nice. No one got hurt. So this is what I meant by Jeff Hardy's being carried. The heel almost always carries the match anyway. So he probably told him, shoot, reverse, do it again. Off the apron. So here it is. This is the old Owen Hart used to do that cutoff all the time. And it's hard. But like, they have wrestling mats or some sort of mat. I don't really know what it is. If you guys have done extra work, someone tell me what it is. I don't know. And so that way they emphasize that Jeff Hardy's in jeopardy. That was the cutoff. We would call that the cutoff, and that would have been at 4 minutes 35-ish seconds. So out of a 9-minute match, the first half of it was the shine plus entrances, but most people don't count the entrances because look, entrances would be to about here, maybe a minute and a half. and now we're just going to get Triple H beaten on him. And I think now he's allowed to be more frustrated, and they're kind of
Revenge on the mind of Jeff Hardy as well.
slowly slowing down the pace. And they go right to like a hope spot, but it's just a fire up. I always like Jeff Hardy's fire ups like this. I wish they would do that more because it looks like a kid punching. Not in a bad way, though. And then here's the high knee. Cut off with a big signature move. So if you are going to use a cutoff spot, it is really advantageous to you to use a signature move because it's a moment almost. It's a mini moment of the match. It's not quite a full moment, but it's a spot, right? So instead of doing 7 things there, he just did one of his signature moves. So I don't think Triple H even does all his moves in this match, and people paid to see him. You can guarantee that at this point. It's 2001, but he has his high knee, the spine buster, and the pedigree. And I really like his punches. Ari Davari says he has the best punches, which I would agree. I really don't know if they let you do these kind of chokes and stuff anymore because pro wrestling is not sports entertainment and times have changed. So they keep cutting back. This is the 3rd time they've cut back to Stephanie, and it's all emphasizing the stakes for Triple H and why he's doing this. So the hard buckles are... One thing I don't like about hard buckles, though, is that I wish you didn't have to fall when you did it, because it would be a really good... Yeah, see, it's a good moment to do that and get some engagement and carry the crowd. And one thing I want to talk about really quickly, it's a mini rant, because we got 3 minutes left in the match. People will say, veterans will say, well, don't let the crowd dictate your match. You're not a mark. But then they'll say, yeah, but you got to listen to the crowd so you know when to do it. And there's like a 9 out of 10 rule with both of these overlapping. So where you have to have the experience to make those decisions, and whether you make the right one or the wrong one, as long as you're willing to learn from it and take it to the next thing, you're fine. I've seen people make mistakes. I've asked people why they did a spot in a certain way, and they said, oh, we wanted that to be the false finish. We wanted that reaction. I was like, but that was the biggest spot in the match. And they were like, yeah, that's what we wanted. I was like, okay, well, I think it should have been the finish. And then you can't really do much else from there. And we were on a card with people who I would have thought would watch the match and tell them because they were the opener or something along the lines of that. I don't think it was a pre-match deal. I just think it was the first match on the card. So it was very engaging and it was awesome. But there were other people there who would have told them that if they would have asked them to watch their match. And that's one of the biggest things people aren't doing is asking people to watch their matches. Even if you message me on Facebook to watch your match, I'll watch it. Or if it's really bad, I'll definitely watch the whole thing. I might react to it. I would do my own, but that's already cringy enough as it is, reviewing my own matches. I really like seeing what people do differently because sometimes people will alternate and then use it as the back suplex, and sometimes people will do other stuff with it. So it's kind of fun just to see where stuff goes. It's just like Legos. Like, it may not be my favorite piece, but it is a piece of the Legos. And then there's one of Jeff Hardy's signature moves that he does. Something so small like that, but it emphasizes his moveset and his character. Look how distinctly different they are. They both have long hair, but they're not. Oh. That was actually Jeff Hardy doing that. But yeah, that was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be similar to a double down, but it's not quite because I think we're getting to the end here. But desperation move out of Triple H here. Push the ref. They might have wanted to do something a little bit different than a Russian leg sweep, but I think that was one of Hardy's moves, so that's why. So Triple H heel, bad guy, big guy, and now the ref is. This is very situational. Not everyone will say you can touch the ref, but if it works, it works. That's the rule, right? If no one got hurt and the fans reacted, it worked. I don't care. I made a statement the other day. Social media is more important than the gym. What do you think? It's a fact. It's not my opinion. I wish it were the other way around, because then the more you go to the gym, the better pro wrestler you are. But it's not that. But you need a healthy balance of both. Mental health is important. And if you want to have a substantial understanding of your mental health, you will be careful with both. You won't overdo either, and you at least do the minimum of both. You don't need social media to live, but as a pro wrestler, you do. Because I don't do social media, brother, isn't a thing anymore. You're not allowed to do it. I refuse. I was the same way, and I could have made a lot of money if I would have set up a pro wrestling tees with a t-shirt that said Tomahawk Kid. That's it. No font. Just pick whichever one is first. Arial, black. Put it bold. Make it a black shirt with white. Dramatic irony. 'Cause I'm smart. I really like this match. So let me be a kid for a second. Cool? We'll go back if we have to.
Now, referee Tim White upset with Triple H.
I mean, I know Tim White respects his job, but he's about to get his ass kicked.
Triple H shoving the referee down. The game had enough of that, and Jeff Hardy is in all kinds of trouble up there.
15 punches thrown already.
Jeff, he's just hanging there like just worn out.
But listen.
He's defenseless against the game.
Wait a minute! It's not Hardy! What the hell's Matt doing here? With a stand up! Triple H! I thought that was offense and injuries! Look at Jeff top up! What is he doing here? Smackdown! Bob! Jeff Hardy hooks the leg! Wait a minute! No champion! Jeff Hardy has upset Triple H!
I know the final time we see her is a different reaction, so that makes sense. And look, he's already back up on his feet. He completely no-sold the Swanton Bomb. But it makes sense. It fit within the storylines. Could have been a schoolboy, could have been anything, but he got hit in the head with a chair and Swanton Bombed, and look, he's standing up. Triple H. God. So the taunt, it was right there. Right before the Swanton Bomb. Tell me you haven't done this without telling me you haven't done this. You can't. Everyone's done it. Triple H didn't even get the spine buster and didn't even go for the pedigree again. He established in the beginning, so we didn't have to do anything else after that. I think that's one of Triple H's best matches. But that's because he did so much with so little. And not to say that Jeff Hardy didn't contribute, but maybe the power slam was supposed to be reminiscent of his spine buster. That could have been it. Could have been the spine buster. Could have been the power slam. It really didn't matter which one it was, I guess. We didn't count specific moves today because that's a little bit more than I wanted to get into. But I think this is going to be a really good point to understand for beginners. Watch how slow it is during the heat and watch how fast it is during the shine. And people will tell you to slow down still. And I know it's confusing. But if you time each move on this match, it'll be different. Take that extra second and you actually time it. If you have 7 minutes in a match and you plan for 4 or 5 minutes at most, you will have a better match because you don't actually know how long things take. It's like when I'm getting ready and I say I'll be out in 10 minutes, but I forgot that I had to go to the bathroom and shower and change and put lotion on or something. Like, that's a 45-minute process, and I said 10 minutes, and I was wrong. I'm wrong every day. Anytime I ever have to actually do something, I'm wrong. I just am. I'm slow as... So the cutoff, we know what the cutoff was, right? Cutoff was the power slam on the outside. And you can slowly go through this and decipher each one and really get an in-depth understanding of each match. But for beginners, I don't think you need the in-depth understanding. I think you need to slowly start to see like a little stop in the comeback or in the shine, as opposed to, what's your shine? Arm drag, drop kick. And if you guys actually want to go through and break this down, that would be awesome. I'd like to see what you have to say. So if you wanted to, I would print this out and just scribble on it. Who cares? Scribble all the way. And then here's the comeback, asking if it was a double down, who was the first to their feet, but they didn't quite have a comeback. They just went home. They went from the heat to the finish, and this worked in that situation. Oh, here's a great thing that I didn't acknowledge here, right here. This tip. How much time after the match was done did they use? So Davari always left 1 minute of his match for facial reactions to sell the finish of the match. Everyone got over here, even Stephanie. One of the more perfect matches that doesn't follow the same old formula. And that's why I love it. Make sure to check out all of our other stuff, because all the other match breakdowns that we have are more in depth than this one for wrestlers need to work out and be on social media.